All right, here's our breakdown for Johnny B Goode. So it's in the key of B flat major. What we're going to do is we're going to slide in on the G string with our middle finger up to 7. You can slide from anywhere you want, but just to choose a point, let's slide from 5. Okay, we're going to hit the B string on 6 with the index finger. Ring finger is going to go to 8 on the B string. And then we're going to slide from 5 on the B string and high E string into 6. And we're going to pick both of those strings at the same time. After we complete the slide, we're going to pick those 2 strings again twice. So it should look like... So far... We're going to do this slide 2 more times. Okay, so now we have... Here's the next part. Okay, so pinky finger is going to go to 9 on the B string. We're going to pick that. We're going to pick 8 on the B string with the ring finger. We're going to get our finger ready for a finger roll, or index finger. It's going to pick 6 on the B string, 6 on the G string. Middle finger is going to hit 7 on the G string. And then we're going to hit 8 on the D string with our ring finger. Twice. So that new part is... So now we should have this. Okay, here's the next section. Okay, we're going to slide on the A string and D string. Okay, so we're going to slide from 7 to 8 on the A and D. We're going to pick those 2 8 times. Okay, so once we slide into the 8th fret, we pick it 8 times, including the actual slide itself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, while you're doing this, it's important to make sure that you don't pick the G string. If you do pick the G string by accident, you're going to get an unwanted sound, which we don't want. There's a few things that you can do. You can use, instead of barring, you can use 2 fingers to do it. The problem with barring is that when you bar this, you're going to be barring also probably the G string. Okay. The other thing I recommend is, if you look at my right hand, you can actually hold the G string with a finger, and there's no way that it's going to sound out. You're muting it, okay? And then, of course, the other way is just to be accurate. Okay, so far we have this. Okay, for our next part, what we're going to do is we're going to do a half-step slide on the G and B string. We're going to start with our middle finger here on 6 on the G string, index on 5 on the B string. We're going to pick both of those, and we're going to slide it just 1 fret over to 7 and 6. When we get there, we're going to pick them again. We're going to put down the ring finger on 8 on the B string. We pick that. We take it off. We pick them both again. So now we should have... We're then going to take these 2 fingers off. We're going to replace our middle finger with our ring finger, and we're going to pick that and we're going to slide back to 5. We're going to hit 3 with the index, and then finally the D string 5. So that new section... So now that leaves us with this. Alright, here's our next section for the intro to Johnny B Goode. Okay, now with this part, we're doing a whole bunch of bend and cuts. It's a very swingy T-bone walker riff, and they're not all even. Okay, at first glance, it seems like it's just the same bend and note happening over and over again. It is the same notes, but the timing of it changes. Okay, so let's start with the bend and cut. We're going to do a bend and cut on the G string 8. So a bend and cut is a bend that we cut it or mute it at the peak, okay? We don't want to hear the release. We just want to hear the bend and cut. And then we jump to the B string 6 directly after. So we have a whole bunch of these. So for this part, I recommend putting the actual song on once you have the technique down and getting the actual timing of it, okay? Alright, here's the last section of the intro to Johnny B Goode. It is the hardest in my opinion because of the speed and because of the techniques that are used. Okay, so we're going to start by bending the G string because we're coming out of the bending swing section that we just did. So we're going to start by bending the G string on 8, and then we're going to hit high E string 6, the B string 9, 8, 6. So now we have, we're going to hit the high E string 8, the high E string 6, the B string 9, 8, and then we're going to pick both the B string and the high E string on 6. So now we have, we're going to pick the G string 8. We're going to do a hammer on from 6 to 7 on the G string. And then we're going to pick both the B string and high E string on 6 again. So far we have. We're going to do a pull off from the B string 9 to the B string 8. And then we're going to pick again the high E string and B string together. We're going to bend the G string and cut it, and then hit the high E string and B string again. Bend the G string again on 8, cut it. Pick both the high E string and B string on 6. Pick the G string on 8. Do a hammer on from 6 to 7 on the G string. And then finally finish on the D string 8. So altogether, it looks like this.